You want to do the honors?
Sportin Beards.
Episode number 33.
33. Aaron Jones.
Is he
It's
33?
first 30. Yeah, he's 33. It's the first 33 I think of.
I can't think of a 33. Trying to think of like a defensive back. I'm sure there's been plenty of defensive backs that are 33.
Yeah, probably.
Feel like
I was trying to think of a baseball player, but
feel
I
like
can't
that's a
think
safety number.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I now you're just making me think of 38 Jeff Heath, and so
What a name to think about. I mentioned safety, not Brian Dawkins, not Roy Williams, not Darren Woodson.
well, none of those
Jeff
were
Heath.
none of those were like 33 or anything. Jeff Heath was 38, so yeah, you're right. That is kind of random. I love Jeff Heath though. He was good, and I'll never forget that game where he ended up having to be our kicker, and he did a hell of a job.
Yeah, he got the job done.
He got the job done. True, he didn't do a hell of a job, but he got the job done.
Which is all you really need when you're using a safety to do your kicking. Just
Right.
Don't
Serviceable.
mess us up too bad.
Yeah, don't fuck it up.
Right. Right. Don't Mets it up.
There you go.
Don't Mets it up.
I really want to jump on that so hard, but I also don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, you have to wait.
I know.
You have to wait. I can make
Hey,
jokes,
You
but
can.
you have to wait at least one more day.
Right.
Nervous.
So just a little.
We've got a lot to get into today.
We do.
We've got a top 25. We've got NFL Week 4, and then we've got the MLB postseason that is rapidly approaching.
Quickly approaching. Yes, getting here real quick. I can see people's breath now. And the beanie hats.
Next episode, there will be legitimate postseason baseball to talk about, like games that have already happened.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
There's nothing better than October baseball.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This is like a great time to be single. Like
you can just sit around and watch sports all the time.
No offense to anybody out there, you included, Doyce. No offense, but yeah, being single now, I can just sit at home, watch sports. I mean, I'll probably go out and watch a little bit too, but
of course,
yeah, dude, there's just plenty.
You gotta go out wearing one of these pretty soon.
We'll get into that.
For people on the podcast, I'm wearing a Astros jersey that Chase may be wearing pretty soon.
Looking like.
No,
right.
You're going to be wearing an Astros jersey. It's just a matter of which one I decide.
Okay, so it is already over for
sure. Might let you pick, but
that would be nice. So
anyway,
we do have Monday Night Football going on right now. It is 7:48 p.m. Central Time, and if I'm not mistaken, it's actually on commercial right now, but if I'm not mistaken, it is still 3-0 Rams.
3-0, yeah.
Okay, so not a whole lot going on in that one so far, but it is still early in the first quarter. So
yeah, it's still very, very, very early. I've got the Manning cast on. Which one you got on?
We've got the Manning cast on over here as well.
Okay.
However, I can't really hear it too much.
Well, I mean, we're going to be listening to each other in theory, so I've got it on mute, but at least I can look over and see the Mannings.
Peyton and you can tell when like they're ripping on each other sometimes and stuff.
Speaking of that, did you see the SNL Manning cast skit?
No.
So, why am I blanking on his name?
Chad Powers?
No, not Chad Powers. That would have been great. No, the the guy that ended up hosting it is an actor, played in what is his name? God. Like he's an actor
Steve Buscemi.
that I really like. It was not Steve Buscemi.
Jeff Bridges. Now I'm just going into the Big Lebowski. I like trivia, but you're giving me nothing here.
I know, because I'm blanking on everything that has to do with him.
I know it's not Timothy
Miles Teller.
Okay.
Miles Teller plays Peyton, and he does it perfectly.
Dude, I like Miles Teller. I might have
mannerisms, voice, cadence, like everything about it's perfect. His forehead's not quite big enough, but other than that, like he could play Peyton Manning. He could play Peyton Manning in a movie, and it'd be like believable other than the forehead.
Dude, maybe they're gonna have to do that. They should probably they should have him on for the Manning cast one night. I mean,
for real.
They have celebrities, right?
Yeah, usually. they had drunk Tracy Morgan last week.
Really?
I don't know if you saw any of that video. Like he was either like higher than anybody's ever been ever, or he was drunk off his ass.
You know,
more drunk off his ass, really. Like he looked. It seemed like he was like just throwing back liquor for like 6 straight hours before coming on the Manning cast. Nobody knew what to do with him.
So that's wild. That's not, I mean,
it was bad.
It's kind of funny because that's just like his character in 30 Rock. Did you ever watch 30 Rock?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was doing a bit where he just comes off as a complete. I'm not a fan of Tracy Morgan. I don't like Tracy Morgan. I don't find him funny. So maybe it's just partly me, but
hot takes.
I don't like Tracy Morgan.
I like it. I like some of his stuff. I don't know. I've never really met him.
Well, yeah. I don't know how he is personally, but I don't find him funny, like, at all.
So I like some of his stuff.
I've never seen him in anything that I thought was funny.
30 Rock was awesome. Anyways, but we actually messed up because it is actually the second quarter now, and it is 7-3 San Francisco.
They didn't have to know that we weren't paying attention.
Well, we were paying attention, but we were trying to get all set up for this and make sure we got everything ready to go.
That's true.
So now I'm not sure who scored for San Francisco. Let's go check that out real quick.
All right.
But they also have the ball. So
yeah, let's like I said, we got a lot of stuff to get into. We should probably
hop into it.
Start getting into it. We're almost 10 minutes in already and haven't talked about anything.
We've talked about things.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson Jr. 32-yard rushing touchdown.
Nice. All right. Okay. So top 25. There's been a lot of movement this week.
Doyce is top 25.
I always appreciate it. Got you. There's been a lot of movement this week in my top 25. A lot of movement.
Not
there's only one team that stayed in the same place.
Ooh.
Only one.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm glad somebody did it.
So you might not be thinking me in a little bit. So
I'm not surprised.
Teams on their way out of the top 25 of my top 25: Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Minnesota, Baylor, Florida State, all drop out.
Fair.
So at 25, and I almost put Arkansas at 25 because I probably am still higher on Arkansas than pretty much anybody. But I kind of decided
you got KJ Jefferson.
2 losses at this point in the season. I'm just not ready to have a 2-loss team in the top 25. So a couple more weeks, then maybe I can start putting 2-loss teams in, but not yet. It's too early for a 2-loss team.
Right. I agree.
So 25, I've got Washington. They were at 16. Got their doors blown off by UCLA, but they just barely hung on for top 25. Maryland comes into the top 25. They were unranked. Mississippi State comes into the top 25. They were unranked. LSU comes into the top 25 at number 22. They were unranked. TCU comes into the top 25 at 21.
Oh, yeah.
They were unranked. They should be a little bit higher, but they're 21 for now. NC State drops from 17 to 20 after their loss to Clemson. BYU goes from 24 up to 19. Cincinnati goes from 19 to 18. Kansas State, who I basically forgot to put in the top 25 last week. They should have been kind of in that 21 to 23 range.
There's a lot of teams.
They jump up to 17 from being unranked accidentally.
Okay.
Kansas goes from 25 to 16.
Ooh, that's a pretty big jump.
Well, basically everybody from 17 down almost lost. So somebody has to move up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Wake Forest goes from 20 to 15. This one's going to be shocking to hear. UCLA goes from unranked to number 14.
14. I mean, what is the one I'm looking at right now? The AP top 25 put them up to 18.
Yeah, it's not that far off.
Yeah, so
Kentucky,
they're kind of seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah. I mean, they destroyed Washington. Washington's been really good, and they're undefeated.
Really did.
So,
yep.
Kentucky drops from 8 to 13. Oregon goes from number 18 all the way up to 12. Ole Miss goes from 15 to 11. Utah goes from 12 to 10. USC stays at 9. So I lied. There's USC stays at their same place as well. Tennessee drops from 7 to 8. Oklahoma State goes from 11 to number 7 after their win against Baylor. Really good win against Baylor.
Yep.
Penn State goes from 6 to 5. Penn State goes from 5 to 6. Clemson goes from 6 to 5. So Clemson jumps back over Penn State. Penn State jumped them last week. Clemson jumps back over them this week.
Okay.
Michigan stays at 4. Georgia falls to 3. Back-to-back weeks not looking good. Back-to-back
That's
weeks.
not true. It's not true.
Back-to-back weeks.
Kent State is good.
Kent State's better than people probably think, but
dang, 3.
3.
I mean, Ohio State has looked really good. I give you that. But, dude.
Yep. So Georgia falls to 3.
If Ohio State's looked that good, you should put them above Alabama.
Alabama's got the best win of the 3 of them, though, in my opinion. Arkansas. A win at Arkansas.
That's not even in the top 25 anymore?
Only because they have 2 losses. And they only have 2 losses because the kicker hit the very top of the upright against A&M. Otherwise, they'd probably still be a top 10 team.
All right.
That's just where I'm at right now.
That's okay. Just where I'm at. There's plenty of time to prove you wrong.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, one of our bigger tests that was coming up would have been Kentucky, but they're falling a little bit more. It's still a test. Don't get me wrong, but when they're not as highly ranked as what they were, then it doesn't look as good when it comes to college football. I mean, because they look at like the rankings when you play them,
and you got Tennessee,
than really the team.
You got Tennessee coming up later in the season
as
too.
Well.
We'll see what Tennessee is by that point because Tennessee's got a brutal schedule.
I just hope that they come out and just whoop up on Auburn this weekend.
They need to
remind people. Hey,
I still think Georgia may be a better team than Alabama, but they don't deserve it above Alabama right now after 2 consecutive bad games.
I made the argument for us to move up when Alabama had bad games, so I can't go back on my words there. So they now have looked good and we looked bad. So yeah, you got to give it to them. Georgia needs to step it up. They need to get I mean, their defense is still doing good. They just have had a hard time scoring the last couple of weeks. That's the problem. So they need to get their offense back on track. And that was really kind of the same thing last year. Was their offense? They struggled early on, but their defense kept them in all the games. So
the difference is that this year Georgia has a great defense. Last year they had an all-time defense. That's the difference.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but plenty of time left to.
Oh yeah, it's week 5.
Still get up there.
It's week 5 in college. There's plenty of time. They've got big games coming up, and at the end of the day, all you need to do is get into the top 4 at the end of the season, and you have a shot at winning the title. That's really all that matters to a school like Georgia. That's all that matters.
That's true.
Oh, I didn't mention. I always mention teams that I at least looked at or considered. So the aforementioned Arkansas, Florida, Syracuse, Washington State, Coastal Carolina, Duke, North Carolina, Texas, Illinois, and James Madison. Those are teams.
Happy Madison Productions.
So I ended up with 40 teams on my sheet between the teams that dropped out, the teams to watch, and the teams that made the top 25. If any of those teams, barring the 2 lost teams, are in your top 25, I'm not really going to argue.
I got you. Yeah, that's kind of like what we've talked about, where like there's 20 top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, or like whatnot,
right?
Because they're arguably, for whoever's choosing, could put them in. I mean, still, you have Penn State still higher than anybody I've seen. So
I'm higher on Penn State. There were 3 teams coming into this season that I was super high on, higher than basically anybody else, and that was Arkansas, Kentucky, and Penn State. And I still argue that those 3 teams have been 3 of the 10 best teams that I've seen. They're just Arkansas is not deserving of a ranking because of their record and because of things
that's how it works.
But
that's how it works.
That's how it works. But I do still think that they are one of the 10 to 15 best teams that I've watched.
Well, and depending on how the rest of the season goes, we've definitely seen some college football seasons where everybody's losing, and so everybody's got a loss, and so then it really does become, well, who's playing better? Who is the better team?
Right.
So you never know.
I'm not ready to say that Arkansas won't be a top 10 or top 15 team at the end of the season, because they very well could be.
Long road, but it could happen.
Yep. All right. Ready to get some professional gridiron?
Some grown man football.
Yeah.
I just like making that joke. I don't really feel that way towards it. I just like to make the joke.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, so
I like the more fun football. You like the adult football. It's fine.
I understand. I mean, hey, there's arguments for both. I do really like both. The hard part for me, like we've talked about before, with working Saturdays for so long, it was hard to keep up with college football. Now the last couple of years, I've had weekends off again, so I'm able to actually keep up more. Yeah. And Jonah hates it that last year was the first year that I really started keeping up because Georgia won. And he's like, this is bullshit. I've been keeping up for my whole life, and OU still can't do it again.
Yeah. How old is Jonah? How old was he when OU won the title?
He's 26. He was born in 95, so he
doesn't remember that at all.
No, not really. He just remembers heartache and crying on TV.
Well, that's what he's remembered for.
True, which is pretty cool. It's gotten him on some. I think I told you about it. He was on like game day and everything.
It's always better to be remembered.
Yeah, no publicity is bad publicity.
All right, let's do some NFL. So we're going to do it a little bit different this week. We're going to kind of focus on we're not going to focus on every game this week. We're going to kind of zero in on a couple of games because we do have some playoff baseball to talk about later on.
That is true.
So, I'll start. The
All right.
one that I really wanted to talk about is, and this is not going to make sense to a lot of people when I say it, but the Seahawks and Lions game. Do you have any idea why I wanted to talk about this one?
Yeah, I do. We had a scoregami.
Yep. Somehow in the history of the NFL, there's never been a 48-45 game.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, how? I mean, that is a really high scoring game.
It's a high
which
scoring
doesn't
game,
happen very often in the NFL anymore.
but it's not
even with the high powered offenses.
It's not a score that like looks weird.
Right, because it's a division of 7.
Right.
45, right? No.
Well, it's close. 42.
Close. 42 and 49,
Yeah, it's 6 touchdowns.
But it's a 3-point difference.
Right. It doesn't seem like it would be an odd score that would
because we
that
see
has
38,
never happened.
35, right?
Yeah, we see that all the time.
Yeah, so it's only 10 more each.
Right. So it's
weird
way to put it, weird.
Yeah, no, that is weird that we never saw that. But it was a pretty crazy game.
Yeah, so I had this brought up, and I'm just indulge me for a second. This is a list of every drive in the game.
Okay.
Every offensive possession. So Seattle starts, touchdown. Detroit punts. It gets fumbled. Detroit gets the ball back. Touchdown. Seattle, touchdown. Lions, field goal. Seattle, field goal. Lions, fumble. Seattle, touchdown. Lions, touchdown. Halftime. Seahawks get the ball to start. Pick 6. Detroit punts. And then it is Seattle missed field goal. Detroit touchdown, Seattle touchdown, Detroit touchdown, Seattle field goal, Detroit touchdown, Seattle touchdown, Detroit touchdown. Seattle gets the ball, game over.
That is nuts. See, I do want to give a little bit of props though to the Lions because they were doing it without their number 1 wideout and their number 1 running back, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and
Jamal Williams has been really good though.
Jamal Williams has been almost a 1B. He kind of has. You're right. However, they didn't have their main guys per se. So, because usually they'll have DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, and Jamal Williams will still get his. So, I do give them props. And did you see the stat that the Lions actually lead the league in scoring?
140
points and total points. Yeah, and they're 1-3.
They've scored 11 more than second place.
And that's why they spent their number 1 pick or their first round pick on defense, but 1 ain't enough. You're gonna have to do a little bit more to that defense because
it's not good because they also lead the league in points against.
Exactly.
So not only with points, but they actually lead the league in yards per play. Their average yard per play is 6.5. The league average is 5.5. So they're a yard better per play than league average. They're also a yard worse on defense in yards per play.
That sounds about right. See, I mean, that sucks. Detroit just can't win for losing. Like, I mean, give Seattle their props. They definitely played a good ball game, and Geno Smith did.
Geno Smith played the game of his life.
Yeah, he played really well. So yeah, definitely give Seattle their props. They played a good ball game, but man,
Rashad Penny could have like crawled to 100 yards in this game.
Yeah, Rashad Penny finally broke out for this season. I mean, he obviously had some good games last year, but that was his best game so far this season, and he looked like he should be the main guy.
The holes that he was running through, though, in this game, I mean, the Lions got some work to do on defense, as we've said. I mean, he could have done a tuck and roll for a lot of yards on a lot of plays because it was such a just wide open holes.
Yep, that's true. I mean, And when you got a guy like that who's got the skills and the talent, if you give him that big of a hole, he's going to take advantage of it.
Right.
So, yeah, no, give Seahawks their props. Like I said, I do also want to mention Josh Reynolds stepping up big time for the Lions with Amon-Ra being out. He looked like he could be a star from time to time, not necessarily like on a week to week basis. But then, like you even mentioned too, Jamal Williams made it look like they weren't missing really anything back there. So props to them for stepping up and making it a really good game with such a high scoring game. And dude, I love scoregami. We were just talking about it
Yeah,
last week.
I know.
So
I know.
that's great. We've
I don't
had crazy scores.
I don't know how many
Like,
more scorigamis there are, but
I mean, there's got to be more.
well, I saw that it's like the 1037th different score for an NFL game ever.
True.
So there's
But I
already been
mean,
over 1,000 combinations.
yeah, but there's got to be so many different more.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, I
think
know.
about it.
Well, obviously there are, but like
I mean, dude, the
up
crazy
until
part to me,
until you get into like the 50s, because obviously those are not being hit very often, especially if you're doing
true.
50-50 kind of games. But then I guess
Cowboys, Broncos back in the day. Oh,
I guess a bunch of ties could be scorigamis as well. Like
true.
you ended up with like a 37-37 tie. I'm sure that's never happened before.
Yeah, probably not.
So I don't know.
I'm astounded by how many teams I've seen with the score 12 this year so far. Like at some point in the game, not to finish the game, but at
Right.
some point in the game, almost like it almost doesn't fail. Some team's gonna have 12. It's just been a crazy season so far with different scoring, and I mean, coaches being a little more ambitious and going for it on fourth or for two instead of kicking the field goal or missed PATs. Like it's been pretty crazy so far.
Yeah. All right. What game we hitting next?
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and no, wait a second. We'll go ahead and do the Vikings and the Saints. We had a London game early.
So I'll admit I didn't get to watch a lot of this game, even though it was
Me neither.
nationally televised.
Me neither. There's a couple reasons though that I wanted to talk about this one. A is in London, which is always fun to see the NFL get to go to London. One thing I learned about it is that they don't just go to the same stadium in London every time. I thought they did.
Yeah, usually a lot of times they go to Wembley,
Right.
which is like the national stadium for England. Today they were at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah, Tottenham. And then they've also been to what was the other one that I saw? It's another or something. I don't remember.
I'm trying to think of who has new stadiums over there.
Let's see if it says it right here.
Like West Ham, maybe. I don't know.
I think it is. I think that's right.
I think West Ham has a fairly new stadium.
Well, anyways, I read somewhere that oh, here it is. Wembley, Twickenham. Twickenham Stadium. Twickenham.
Twickenham. I don't remember who plays the Twickenham.
Twicken. Twicken. Ham. I don't know. Anyways, apparently, so the Vikings won 28-25 on a crazy fashion at the end, which I'll get into. But that improves their record in London to 3-0.
Oh, I didn't even realize they played in London 3 times.
I didn't either. Apparently, they beat the Steelers in 2013 at Wembley. They beat the Browns 33-16 at Twickenham, or wherever this
Twickenham,
famous.
I think it's probably pronounced.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, it's a different country, so there's definitely a good chance I'm messing that up. And then obviously they won yesterday, so they're 3-0 in London. So I guess instead of the Jaguars moving over there, the Vikings are going to move over there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But
I mean, the Vikings are seaborn, so makes sense.
True.
They'd be good going over the seas.
Yeah, they travel the seas.
Yeah,
and then conquer.
It just makes sense.
Right, and they're probably blowing their horns on the way over there.
Right.
So somehow with Jameis Winston out, Michael Thomas out, and a late surprise scratch, Alvin Kamara out, the Saints were actually up at some point in this game. I believe it was 19-12.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, which was surprising to me because they didn't have anybody. I mean, Andy Dalton was serviceable. Chris Olave was actually able to finally get some work done and scored his first touchdown in the NFL. But Minnesota has this one guy. What's his name? I can't remember his name right now. Oh, never mind. It's Justin Jefferson. And the dude balled out.
Yeah, he's good.
Absolutely balled out. Man, I just had it right here. What was it? 10 catches for 167 yards.
147.
147, that's right. So 10 catches, 147 yards. He even had a rushing touchdown for 3 yards.
Yep.
So I guess that was his only touchdown. He didn't
end around.
But dude, the dude is so obviously he balled out week 1. Kind of went silent, not necessarily silent, but not as good as we were hoping for the last couple weeks, but then showed right back up in London, dude, and took care of business and basically won this game for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Minus
he dominated.
There's one other guy that actually played maybe arguably a little bit better than Justin Jefferson on the Vikings, and that would be their kicker, Greg Joseph. Dude.
5 for 5,
Yeah, he couldn't miss.
I mean, Will Lutz hit a 60-yarder.
So
and should have hit a second 60-yarder.
Yeah, we had another double doink.
Yeah.
So
that would hurt.
He had the leg. Yeah, dude, it did because so it was a 3-point game. First, the Vikings apparently, I believe it was the Saints. Will Lutz's first 60-yard field goal was with like a minute 24 left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Vikings got down and kicked a field goal with like 20-something seconds left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Saints were able to actually get within distance to, what was it, a 62 that he was going for at the end?
61, 62, something like that.
Something like that. And yeah, he had the leg for it. It looked like it was about to go in.
61.
Hits the left upright. Comes down, looks like it might still have a chance, and hits the crossbar and doinks off. Double doink for the loss.
Yeah, that hurts.
Man, it hurts because if they were able to sneak one out without their 3 main players, really, I mean, Michael Thomas, some could argue, isn't necessarily one of their main anymore. But, dude, they were so close to being able to pull that out. But Minnesota did what needed to be done. Dalvin Cook, if he can just stay healthy, he adds so much
always
to this
a question.
Team. I know it is, but it adds so much to this team because I do like Alexander Mattison, and he does step in and play pretty well for him usually. But, man, Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, that's like, dude. I already told you I think Minnesota is going to win the division. I'm not really backing off that, even though New Orleans did give it a good run. They definitely gave it a good run.
I mean, they're 3-1, so them and the Packers are both 3-1, which I guess use that to pivot. I'm going to combine two of the ones that I wanted to talk about. Basically just because they're the first 2 rookie quarterbacks to really play this year. And that is Bailey. Is it Zap or is it Zappy?
I was hearing Zappy on the broadcast.
I was hearing Zappy on the broadcast too, but it looks like Zap to me.
Well,
I think it sounds cooler as Zap.
I think Zappy's awesome.
Okay. So, well, he's a 4th round pick that was a 3rd string quarterback that ended up playing because Hoyer got hurt. Brian Hoyer got hurt
first
during
drive,
the game.
right?
It was early. He only attempted 6 passes. It was in the first quarter. I think it might have been
the first drive, yeah.
And just as an aside, I don't understand how Brian Hoyer is only 36. Like, I swear to God, that guy's been in the NFL for like 25 years.
And he looked like he was 36 back then.
Right. Like, I swear he's been in the NFL longer than Tom Brady.
I'm with you. That is crazy.
But he's not.
Even know that.
He's only 36. He's 10 years younger than Tom Brady somehow.
So he'll probably still be in the league for a little bit then.
Yeah.
I mean, he's making good money as a backup.
Is Bailey Zappi is he the next Tom Brady? Well, I guess he was picked two rounds higher than Brady, so he's probably gonna be better than Brady, right?
I mean, you never know. I will say he looked pretty good.
He did. He looked all right. I mean, you can kind of tell, it's the first game. He's
definitely
kind of got some deer in the headlights going on, but 10 of 15, not a ton of yards, 99, but touchdown. I don't know. Maybe
he looked good to me. He definitely passed the eye test. But I do remember even somebody else who in their first start also looked kind of bewildered at points, and that was Mr. Tom Brady as well.
Yep.
And he definitely turned into obviously what he is now.
Yeah.
So who knows? The hard part for me about that is that I actually do like Mac Jones a lot, and I think he's got a lot of potential because he's only going to get better, especially under Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I'm like 99% joking with Bailey Zapp, but it would be funny if the Patriots did this again. I thought I said Zappy.
You said Zap that time. I'm just fucking
I don't know.
with you, though.
Whatever.
No, hey, you pronounce it however you want. This is our podcast.
Yeah, I didn't name these people.
Nope.
It's not my job to say their name right.
And Twickenham Stadium.
Yeah, that's right. The other rookie quarterback that got in was Kenny Pickett.
Yep, Kenneth W. Pickett. I'm just kidding. I made that up. Yes, dude.
He actually looked pretty good too.
Unfortunately for Trubisky, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta play better though.
Right.
But Pickett, 10 to 13, 120 yards. He did throw 3 picks, but
he did.
If you saw the 3 picks, 2 of them were tipped passes, like not jump balls, like just tipped passes and ended up falling into the hands of the defense. And then the third one was throwing a Hail Mary at the end of the game.
Yeah. So not necessarily as bad as the stat line looks. Right. However, 2 rushing touchdowns.
And
so using his legs.
They moved the ball a little bit. Probably should have won the game. Somehow lost to the Jets.
Yeah. I mean, Zach Wilson's back. Give him his credit. Zach Wilson looked
18
good.
to 36.
It's the Jets.
I've never
got the best characters to work with.
Yeah, I mean, I like Breece Hall. I think his numbers weren't fantastic, but I like the way that guy runs.
Yeah, and honestly, Michael Carter, they're technically second running back. I like him a lot too, and they do have some receivers, but yeah, I am surprised by that one. I was surprised the Steelers lost to the Jets. Obviously, hindsight's always 20/20, but maybe Kenny Pickett should have started playing a little sooner.
Yeah, you can make the case. I mean, the Jets basically won because the Steelers threw 4 picks in the game. Like, you turn the ball over that much, you're going to lose, no matter who you're playing.
Very rarely do you turn the ball over that much and get away with it. That's true.
Almost never.
We've seen it happen before. I don't remember who it was. I think there was somebody earlier this season, or maybe it was last season, that had like 5 turnovers, or no, it was Cincinnati against the Steelers earlier this season. They had 5 turnovers and tied. Didn't they tie?
No, they didn't
Or
tie.
no, did they end up winning it? Now I can't remember.
I can't.
But
I can't
but they
remember.
had the 5 turnovers against Pittsburgh, and then I think they won. I'm double checking right now. Anyways, so no, they lost in that one, but they almost won. That's right. That was the one that
That was week
Minka
1,
Fitzpatrick.
wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
That was week
Minka
1.
Fitzpatrick blocked the either the game tying field goal. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. And that was for the tie, I think. They were going for the tie to kick the field goal for the tie, and they didn't. Anyways, sorry.
All right, we gotta get a move on here.
Okay,
let's run through some games.
So the
Spend too much time.
The Cowboys had the biggest margin of victory so far this week, barring tonight, against the Commanders, who unveiled some pretty sweet unis, but did not play well in them. I do want to just say it again, though.
Can you fault them for losing to Cooper Rush? Nobody can beat him, so
nobody can. First quarterback to Dallas quarterback to start 4-0 in his career, and looking good doing it. Honestly, all 4 starts over 90 QBR. He had like a 112 QBR against the Commanders. But the biggest difference to me was having Michael Gallup back. Having Michael Gallup back opened up things for CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown and Michael Gallup himself. Because when you have 3 threats like that, because Noah Brown's becoming a threat, you got to admit that, because he's actually been able to have a really good connection with Cooper Rush so far. When you got 3 guys that are a threat, somebody's going to get open. And when you got a guy like Cooper Rush, which there's no quarterback controversy in Dallas, it's Dak's job.
None.
Cooper Rush has definitely done a really good job as a backup quarterback, but that's what he's going to be, at least for the time being. I mean, he's 29.
He's done a good job as a backup quarterback, but there's no other NFL team lining up to, throw picks at the Cowboys to get him.
I mean, we saw it when they cut him and put him on waivers, and nobody took him.
Nope.
Now he's played a lot better since then.
Of course.
So maybe
somebody might take a chance on him, but we're like, oh,
True.
This guy could be the next Kurt Warner that doesn't play until he's 30, and then, but that's not going to happen.
But hey, he is getting the job done, and when you got a guy that can at least just find the open receiver and hit him, that's all you need.
Yep.
With a defense like what the Cowboys have, that's the real story, in my opinion, of the Cowboys this season, and it will remain to be that, is that they have an elite defense. I think you and me talked about it already.
I was looking up the stats today because I was looking at the Lions stuff, and there's a Bear stat that I wanted to throw in there, but Cowboys have like the third, like statistically speaking to this point, the Cowboys have the 3rd best defense in the NFL.
Okay, and
by certain
I'm not
metrics.
surprised. I'm not surprised. They have been playing really well. Trayvon Diggs already got his 2nd pick. I mean, he's on his way to possibly getting double digits again on that. Micah Parsons is just disrupting the line so much to open things up for people like Neville Gallimore to be getting sacks because you got guys triple teaming Micah Parsons. DeMarcus Lawrence is being able to do his thing again. Like, that defense is raw. I'm digging it. Pun intended a little bit. I'm digging it. Dude, it's fun. I'm really enjoying that defense right now, and that's what's keeping us in all these ball games. I mean, the last 2, Giants, Commanders, besides how the Giants played in the first couple weeks, when you're looking at these 2 at the beginning of the season, you're like, we should win those games. I know they did win again
somehow.
Yeah, they did. They beat the Bears.
Doesn't make any sense.
That one I'm not too surprised by. The Bears are still learning. They still got a young quarterback, and
I guess real quick, I'll just do the Bears stat that I looked up because I was curious how many pass attempts they've had to this
This shit's
point.
crazy.
They've attempted 67 pass attempts. The next lowest was actually the 49ers, but obviously they hadn't played 4 games yet. So the actual next lowest was the Falcons at 98. So they're 30 pass attempts below the second lowest.
That is crazy. Yeah, they've got to figure something out in the passing game. I mean, Darnell Mooney actually finally did a little bit this week, but they got to figure something out in the passing game or they're not going to be able to do anything.
Like just to put that into perspective, Josh Allen threw 64 or attempted 63 passes last week. The Bears have attempted 67 in 4 games.
Granted, one of them was a monsoon.
Yeah, but it's not like they've thrown that much. But they threw, I think, 10 or 11 times.
He's thrown just as much in regular games than he did in the monsoon. Yeah, that's what doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
is that you kept the same pace.
I think they had 11 pass attempts. Like today was his highest number of pass attempts. He attempted 22 passes.
Yeah,
this is a first round quarterback. This isn't a backup that, a backup 5th round pick that is just in there because the starter's hurt. This is a first round draft pick from last year.
Right. That's true. Yeah, no, that's bizarre. It's really bizarre what's going on over there. And it's not like they're trying to ride their defense either. So I don't know what they're doing. They need to figure some stuff out. But I mean, Justin Fields, don't get me wrong, hell of a rusher. He's fun to see on the ground. And if David Montgomery can stay healthy, which has been a problem, and Khalil Herbert, they've got some good rushing attack. But when that's all you got, teams are going to figure it out. They're going to stack the box. They're going to let people go man on man, and they're going to shut you down. And that's all it takes to beat the Bears right now. And the Giants were able to do that. So I'm not surprised by that. I don't know how long the Giants are going to be able to keep this up, but we'll see.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not meaning to hijack your NFL talk.
No, dude, this is how we should do it. I like this back and forth. It's okay.
I think we've got time for one more game, and then we can run through scores.
Dope. I did want to do one more because I tried to look this up, but it was a little bit more difficult than I thought. We had a game where both quarterbacks led their team in rushing in Buffalo and Baltimore with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Yep. So I'm not surprised by that.
In some ways, those two are the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Especially in this game. So this game was crazy. The Ravens actually went up 20-3.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked bad for Buffalo for a little while. Josh Allen was able to use his legs and get them back in the game. And so this was actually Josh Allen's largest comeback of his career so far, which I wasn't really surprised by just because they haven't really been down by a lot since he's been playing really well. Not since he's been in the league or since he's been playing for him, but since he's been on his tear, they haven't really been down by a lot. But they were able to storm all the way back, tie it up. Baltimore gets all the way down the field. 4th and goal on what was it, the 2?
Something like that.
They weren't that close. Maybe they weren't that close because they would have
maybe the 4.
Yeah, something like that. And they decided to go for it instead of taking the lead with the field goal. They didn't want to give Buffalo the chance to go down and score. Hindsight's always 20/20.
I like aggressiveness. I like aggressiveness.
I can't fault you on that. I do like that too, because we had 10 years of Jason Garrett where there was never any aggressiveness and it was annoying.
Well, here's where I would be. Like, if I think it comes down to who's your quarterback, what type of quarterback do you have? Like, if I have, I don't know. I was gonna say if I had a Rodgers or a Brady, like a guy that can't run, then I might not go for it there. I might kick the field goal. But if you have a guy like Josh Allen or a guy like Lamar Jackson, where you can call a pass play and be like, hey, 2 reads, and if they're not there, I trust you to either make the right decision passing or take off if you need to and get to the end zone.
That's fair. And Jim Harbaugh has definitely been the type to gamble more times than not. He definitely bets on his team, which I think helps with the camaraderie. You want your coach to believe in you. So I definitely don't necessarily hate on him for doing that.
It's also maybe an
It's
indictment
just
on his defense that maybe he doesn't
it.
trust his defense.
Well, it was nasty. It was kind of nasty. It was like rainy. It was
Mm-hmm.
cold. Like I'd trust my defense more in that kind of environment because the offense is going to struggle. And so I don't know. I didn't really like the play call. I don't know if it was necessarily the play call or the fact that Buffalo's front was able to just blow through the line and
Yeah, it's hard.
put
I don't
pressure
know.
on Lamar Jackson right away.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of play call is gonna help with just getting destroyed up front.
Nothing. A screen pass. But
at
that's
the 4 yard
planned
line
ahead.
on
Yeah, no, not at
fourth
the
and
4,
goal.
but yeah, no.
That would be a hell of a call.
That's some Madden stuff right there. Um, but no, I mean, Josh Allen not on his best game besides his legs. He did have 11 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown, but 19 of 36 for 213 yards and a touchdown and an interception. Like I said, it was kind of nasty. So he was a little bit off his game, but they were able to get it done. They win by a field goal, and I thought that was a huge game. It was hard for me to pick who was going to win that one. I didn't know, but it was a huge win for Buffalo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like whoever won that game was making a big statement.
Yeah, I don't know. I even feel good about Baltimore coming out of that game too.
Same, I still do too. I mean,
Because
Lamar
Lamar
Jackson
Jackson
is
didn't have his greatest game, and they still probably should have won the game.
well, yeah. I mean, he's got 2 picks, but he's 20 of 29. So if you take away his 2 picks, I mean, he's actually 20 of 27. So like, he actually he had a pretty decent game throwing, but like I said, it was nasty. So it was you weren't trying to throw too much, but he had 11 carries as well, but for 73 yards, no touchdowns for him. J.K. Dobbins actually though finally looked pretty good. So that was a fun game to watch. I did get to catch a lot of that. And man, I can't believe after being up 20-3 though that Baltimore didn't score again the rest of the
Yeah,
game. That's
yeah,
nuts.
that's hard to anticipate.
Yeah, that's where you don't feel great about Baltimore after that one. You still feel good about them because they did still look good, but after blowing a lead like that
Yeah,
against a really good team, don't get me wrong, but still.
best team in the NFL, still in my opinion.
I don't know, man. Patrick Mahomes is definitely making his argument to say that the Chiefs are still the team to go through, and he is still the guy to beat.
Yep,
He looked really good last night.
yep.
Barring trying to get into another game, I'll just say Chiefs ended up beating the Bucks. I wouldn't say necessarily like defiantly, but it didn't seem like Tampa Bay was going to win that game almost the whole time.
Yeah. Elsewhere, Raiders got off the schneid, beat the Broncos. The
Finally,
Panthers offense still looks really bad.
yes. Ooh,
Yeah,
DJ Moore
Baker.
finally did a little bit something, but
Yeah,
still not.
Baker's not looking very good.
Nope.
Packers did hold on to beat the Patriots. We talked about that game a little bit. Didn't mention the score though.
That one was really close. I was surprised with the rookie quarterback. They were able to keep
Hang
it
in
close.
there, yeah.
Right.
Eagles beat the Jaguars 29-21.
That
It
was a
was
good
pretty much
game.
all Eagles after the first half of the first quarter, pretty much.
Unbeaten. The only
Giant
one left.
4-0. Giants beat the Bears. We mentioned that. Derrick Henry finally looked like himself as the Titans beat the Colts. And then the Falcons beat the Browns as well.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with the Colts, man. I thought they just needed a quarterback and got one.
Jonathan Taylor didn't run very well yesterday.
Nope. They looked good against when they beat the Chiefs, and Jonathan Taylor actually left with a little bit of an ankle problem. So,
But,
man, a lot of fun though. NFL's been a fun season so far. I'm really enjoying it.
So a long
Especially
way to
with
go.
the Cowboys being 3-1 right now, with no anticipation of that happening whatsoever.
Right. Especially after Dak got hurt. But
mainly, yeah.
So do you want to take a short break and then get into baseball, or you just want to dive right in?
I wouldn't mind doing a short break.
All right. Let's take a short break, and then we'll talk some postseason.
Back in black. No, we're just back.
Yeah, we're back. So.
Soto. Oh, that's fun. You went Soto, I went Sosa.
Yep.
Baseball. Who was better?
Juan Soto's a better player
than Sammy Sosa.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sosa hit a lot of home runs, but Juan Soto
has Juan Soto run the American flag out to center field on a dead
I don't know.
sprint?
Not yet, maybe.
Fair enough.
He's got time.
Oh man, that's funny.
So we have some postseason coming up.
The fall classic will be here before we know it.
Yeah, by the end of the week, it will be the MLB postseason, which is just the best. It's just
magical. Magical.
And yeah,
every pitch matters. Every person is cheering during every pitch.
There's nothing like it, man. The difference I think the difference between postseason baseball and regular season baseball might be the biggest gap in sports from an intensity perspective, because baseball is such a laid back game for 6 months. It's a very laid back game for the most part. And then you get to October.
True.
You get to October and it's just everybody on the edge of their seat at all times, because any pitch could every pitch really does matter. Like any pitch could just change everything.
Right. That's what makes it so fun. That's where with the postseason, I'm not the biggest fan of the whole rules of like relievers having to face 3 batters. I guess it does still add to the manager duties of it.
Yeah.
But man, it's just so fun to see what the managers are going to do in different situations, how they're going to conserve their pitchers, who they're going to have face certain pitchers in the batter's box. And dude, so much fun. It as someone that loves baseball like you and me, and I'm sure many others out there, you see so much more to the playoffs than you do in a regular season baseball game. There's so much more going on.
Yeah.
Than just meets the eye. So it's so much fun, and I'm excited.
Like, even as much as I love baseball, regular season baseball is kind of a background sport. Like, you put it on while you're doing other things, and
it definitely is.
you kind of watch, and you kind of listen to the cues from the announcers, and like, maybe stop and watch like particular players when they're at bat.
You wait till you hear the crack of the bat, and then you turn and look.
Or like, if a pitcher that you really like is pitching, you may watch intently while he's on the mound, and then it kind of fades back into the background a little bit. But when it gets to October, you don't want to miss anything.
Not a damn thing. Not a single pitch, like we said. Which is hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It really is. Well, especially if your team's in it.
Oh,
because
yeah.
if your team's not in it, I still enjoy watching it.
Of course.
However, you don't have to stress as much.
Yeah, your heart rate's not going insane.
Right.
So I kind of thought that maybe we could make predictions based on the way everything is right now, and obviously all the seeding can change in some places, but so the way that, for anybody that this is a new a new format this year, so a lot of people are probably not super familiar with who's going to play who and how it all works. So basically, you have the 1 seed and the 2 seed, they get a bye.
Bye.
Yep. And the other 4 teams, the 3 wild card teams and the third division winner, play in the wild card round, with the higher seed being a home team. And it's a 3-game series, and it's going to be played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if necessary. And the higher seed will be at home for all 3 games.
So really? I didn't know that.
The way that it looks right now, if seedings hold the way that they are right now, it would be the Guardians hosting the Rays, the Blue Jays hosting the Mariners, the Cardinals hosting the Phillies, and the Mets hosting the Padres. And in those, the winner of Mets Padres will face the Dodgers. The winner of Cardinals Phillies will face the Braves. The winner of Blue Jays Mariners will face the Astros, and the winner of Guardians Rays will play the Yankees.
So, so wild card. Dang, I didn't even think. So is the NLDS still 5?
The NLDS is still 5. The division series are still 5. The CSs are still 7, and the World Series is still 7. It's going to be a little condensed this year, though. So normally, like with the division series, you would have 2 at the home at the higher seeds place, and then a day off, then 2 at the lower seeds, then day off, then 1 at the higher seeds. This year, it's a little bit condensed. In some ways, the division series is a little bit weird. Like they both AL and NL will start on the 11th, which is Tuesday next week. But the NL will finish on the 16th, whereas the American League will finish on the 17th. There's an extra day off for the American League during the division series, because they all start on the 11th, and then on the 12th, the National League will play their game 2s, but the American League will have a day off,
gotcha.
so that there's baseball every day.
Right.
It's a little weird the way that they have it scheduled.
Yeah, I kind of remember them trying to do similar things for like the DSs in the past. Yeah. So.
And then like the championship series, this is for both of them. They'll play 2 games, day off, and then play 5 straight. Which is different.
Hopefully we get 5 straight.
A little more taxing on the bullpens, potentially. You're not going to be able to necessarily get away with using 3 starters like you can some years.
Right. That's true.
You're going to have to use your whole roster to get through these things.
That might be why they did that.
Well, a lot of it's just because of the lockout still.
True. So I know you read off the different people. I do just want to clarify. So the Dodgers and the Astros took the 1 seeds in their respective divisions,
leagues.
Conferences, leagues. There you go. And then the Braves and Yankees are in the 2 seeds. So the one up for grabs still is the 2 in the National League, which is the Mets and Braves. The Braves just have to win 1 more game, and then they win the division after sweeping the Mets the last 3 games, which
is huge.
Absolutely huge. That's where Doyce was joking earlier, saying they Metsed it. Man,
the game last night between the Braves and Mets was basically worth 2 games, because the winner was going to have a the way that it worked out is the Braves tiebreaker. The Braves now have the tiebreaker, so if they finish with the same record, the Braves will win the division. Whereas and they have a 2-game lead now. If the Mets had won, they would have had the tiebreaker and they would have been tied. So they would have been tied, but the Mets really would have been 1 game up.
Right.
So that game last night was worth 2 games.
And basically in the playoffs already, if you really want to look at it. Because you don't really think about it until it's one of your teams. That bye week is actually huge. If you're not having to play this weekend, baseball is different than a lot of other sports. It's not about, you don't necessarily have to keep the momentum. Having a couple days off and not having to risk being knocked out right away is huge. I think that's huge. So
you get to set up your rotation. You don't have to use, your 3 best pitchers right before you go into another series. Because these wildcard series, they're going to wrap up on Sunday, and then they get a day off, and they're right into the next series. You may have to start your 4th best pitcher, your 4th best starter in game 1 of the division series, which is massive.
Yeah, it is, man. It's exciting.
Which means your ace is not going to get to pitch twice.
Changes a lot.
Yes, very much so.
Oh man.
So I thought we could just kind of go through and pick the matchups and see where we end up.
They stand now.
Yeah.
I did want to go ahead and clarify too. The Phillies and the Brewers are also the other teams still battling it out to possibly make that 6th seed in the National League. I believe they are. Are they 2 games up?
So they are 2 games up, and like with the Braves and Mets, the Phillies, they have a 2-game advantage. They also have the tiebreaker.
Okay. So as it stands, the Phillies, and it seems like that's how it should lean. However, the Phillies have struggled a little bit lately.
The Phillies are up 1-0 on the Astros right now in the 7th, and
I was about to say, and they're having to play the Astros right now.
The Brewers, I don't see the Brewers. Where are they?
By the way, update on the Monday Night Football game. It's halfway through the 3rd quarter, 14-6, San Francisco right now, actually, which I'm a little surprised by, especially after how they played last weekend. I was not expecting that. But Rams have the ball right now, and they are about to be in the red zone. Look like pass interference to me. No Brew Crew playing today.
Okay, so the Brewers are currently losing 4-1 in the 8th inning. So unless they make a comeback, they're done.
Yeah, I think the Brewers have to win out and the Phillies have to lose out basically for them to take that. So looks like the Phillies should be safe. And then the only other thing, the Blue Jays, the Mariners, and the Rays.
That
So
seeding
Blue
could
Jays,
still technically get rearranged.
Right. I believe the Blue Jays are up 2 games on the Mariners, and the Mariners are up 2 games on the Rays. So it seems like that's basically how it's going to end up. So we can go ahead and look at these series as they stand. Because personally, this is how I think it's going to end up being, anyways.
Yeah, me too.
However,
we'd have to get craziness for it to not end up like this,
which you never
could
know.
happen. It could happen.
Got to get 27 outs. So.
But all right, let's just go down the list here. So the Guardians hosting the Rays. The Guardians are 90-70, and they've been playing some damn good baseball. The Rays are 86-74.
I'm gonna have to go with J-Rom. J-Rom,
so I'm on the other side
Guardians.
of this. I'm on the other side of this one. I think the Rays are going to pull it out.
The Rays do look really good, and they've been in a tougher division, and that's probably why they're a little bit lower down and having to be a wild card. But dude, I mean, I think this one's, man, looking around, I was gonna say this is probably one of the closer ones, but they're all
they're all very close.
They're all pretty toasty. So no, this one is tough. I'm just gonna take the hot hand. And right now, the hot hand is Cleveland.
The Guardians have been one of the hottest teams in baseball over the last 2 months. Like it,
agreed.
They have really, like, that division was close for a while, and they ended up with a 10-game lead.
Took off with it. Yeah, they literally took off with it. We were talking about how that one was going to be one of the fun ones to watch towards the end of the season, and it wasn't.
Yeah, they just blew them out of the water.
Bit. It was fun to see them do that. But yeah, they took off with it, and so I'm going to ride the hot hand with that one.
All right. Blue Jays, Mariners. Blue Jays are at home.
Again, I think I'm gonna ride the hot hand. And that would be the Blue Jays. They just had one of the best Septembers they've ever had as an organization. Bo Bichette, Bo
Boba Fett.
Bichette.
Boba
Yeah,
Fett.
I'm sure we're not the first ones to do that. Bo Bichette had one of the best Septembers um, as a Blue Jay of all time.
He needed it too because he had been having a really bad year.
I had put the numbers somewhere. Let me check real quick because I did have some numbers on that. Because
I've got the Blue Jays as well.
Very impressive.
Although it is close, and you can never discount like a team reaching that level for the first time. Just having a magical ride that gets them to face the Astros and then go down. But I'm going to go with the Blue Jays.
I mean, I just think they have a little bit more experience, even though they are still a young team as well. They have a little bit more experience than the Mariners. Obviously, the Mariners just broke their drought of not making it, which sometimes can be the Cinderella story. So you do have to watch out for that.
Yeah.
Because Luis Castillo has looked really good for the Mariners, and he's going to be their ace coming into that. And Blue Jays better watch out because it ain't going to be easy.
Yep.
But I do have Blue Jays.
Cardinals hosting the Phillies. I'm going Cardinal Devil Magic on this one.
You have to. I mean, I hate the Cardinals just because of what happened in 2011.
What happened in 2011? I'm just kidding. We all know what happened in 2011.
So I hate that. However, they're one of the better teams in baseball right now. So it's hard to bet against them and Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado. They've got the legacy riding with them with Waino and Yachty and Pujols. So
I can't see those three guys going out in the wild card round.
No. And not only that, but the Phillies, even though they've got Castellanos back and Harper back recently, they haven't been playing very good. So with the way it's trending, Cardinals have been playing good, Phillies haven't. You just got to go with the better team on that one.
Yep, I agree. Mets Padres.
This one's tough.
DeGrom and Scherzer.
They've been Metsing.
They have been Metsing, but DeGrom and Scherzer.
And yeah, you're right.
So I think they beat the
3-game series. It is a 3-game series. I do agree with you there. Who would the Padres have going? They'd have
Darvish and
not Peavy,
Musgrove.
Musgrove, that's what I was.
Peavy. What is this, 2012?
And I said not Peavy. I don't like Joe Musgrove is who I was thinking of for some reason. Peavy came in my head. Yeah, no, I think with that pitching matchup right there, the Mets would take that.
No,
but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the Padres beat DeGrom and Scherzer like 1-0, 2-0 each.
Beat one of them and get to game 3.
That'd be Mets. So,
you know what they say? Anything can happen in a game 3. Oh wait, it's game 7. They say that about.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, so I guess for the division series,
so yeah, I think I'll still go with the Mets with you, but
okay.
Sorry, it skipped. I think a little bit.
You a little bit, yeah.
And you weren't saying anything, so I said something, and then it caught up.
Technology. So I've got I've got Yankees and Rays in the division series. Like you said, you've got Yankees and Guardians. Who you got winning?
I do. Honestly, that one's pretty tough for me too, because
I've got Yankees. I think in my baseball brain, I kind of see the Rays beating the Yankees, but I just want to see Yankees Astros, and so I'm kind of going. It's like inverse heart over head.
Well, I feel that because you want it to happen,
right?
But I with the way Stanton's actually playing well now, or hitting really well right now. At least he's been trending in the right direction. The Yankees have a really deep lineup.
They do.
And I picked
I
the
don't know if their
Guardians.
pitching can last in October.
Agree.
That's the only thing.
And the Guardians have been hot hitting the ball. So, man, it's really hard for me because I feel like this is the year the Yankees make it back to the World Series.
Really?
I kind of do, just because of the way like the history of everything going on right now, and I don't know, like honestly, this is the first time I've even saying that, but I just kind of feel that way. And that's not even me trying to like bet against the Astros or anything. It just feels like it's the year, because dude, it's been what, 2009 was the last time they went to the World Series.
Yep.
So, dude, that's a long time for the Yankees not to be there. So
it is.
And I just feel like they're hot.
So you're going Yankees.
I'll go Yankees there.
Yankees over Guardians. All right. So we've both got Blue Jays, Astros. I'm, of course, going to pick the Astros.
I'm going to have to pick the Astros too, just because, dude, Verlander playing really well. You're going to have Fromber, the franchise, going for you guys. And your lineup's deep as well. So I'd have to take it, just because I think you definitely have the experience over the Blue Jays.
Oh yeah.
But also
there's not a team in baseball with more postseason experience other than the Dodgers.
I already said it. Nah, fair. But you did mention the Dodgers though, because they are right there with you guys.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So
but yeah, I guess I'll have to go Astros, Yankees, and the ALCS again.
So Braves, Cardinals. I know what you're going with.
These Cardinals better not do this to me again, dude. Like
that devil magic, man. That devil magic. It ends here, though.
No, I would not be surprised if we did see like a Pujols Yankees World Series. That would be kind of crazy. That would.
I gotta say, like I would not be shocked if the Cardinals made the World Series. I really wouldn't.
No, they always, anytime they're in the postseason, you got to watch out, because they've got the poise. They are an organization in a city that's been there and done that, and they know what to do when they get deep into the playoffs. So I am a little bit scared of that, but the Braves have been playing really well. They've got their pitchers, fucking Spencer Strider, dude. If he can just, we don't know what he's like in the postseason yet.
Yeah, if he's going to be healthy too.
Well, that too. That's true. I forgot. That's right. So I am a little bit nervous about that, but obviously I'm taking my Braves.
No, Dodgers, Mets. It's got to be the Dodgers, right?
It's got to be the Dodgers. Dodgers are the best team in baseball this year, and if they end up winning it all, they could end up being one of the best teams of all time.
They'd be up there.
Yeah, they've been playing really, really well.
All right, Yankees, Astros. You sticking with the Yankees?
I got to stick with it, man. I'm sticking with it. So
obviously, I've got the Astros, but
that'll make it more interesting for us, anyways.
Yeah, I guess.
I hate the Yankees. I don't want to root for either of those motherfuckers.
But you want to watch good baseball.
I want to watch good baseball.
Like, that series is going to be an event if it happens. An absolute event.
You might even see some shirtless Astros. I'm just kidding.
Maybe. if there's a walk-off, you can bet your ass the Astros are ripping the jersey off of whoever it is that hits it.
I bet.
They'll probably rip Altuve's shirt off just for good measure, even if he's not the one that hits it. But it is the Yankees and it's Altuve, so it'll probably be Altuve be the one that hits it.
I mean, that'd be storybook.
Braves, Dodgers. Are you gonna pick the Braves?
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm picking the Braves.
I'm picking the Braves too. I think the Braves are better than they were last year.
At this point in the season, or honestly, like since the
Just as a roster, I think they're a better team. Now, whether that means anything, I mean, in October,
it's October baseball.
It has a mind of its own, and the baseball gods get involved, and who knows what can happen. But I do think the Braves are a better team than they were last year, and I'm not sure that the Dodgers. I'm not sure they have the depth of pitching that they've had in years past. That lineup is absolutely stacked, but they've had a ton of injuries in the rotation. They've had some kind of turmoil at the back end of the bullpen. They don't even know who their closer is.
Right. Honestly, it's funny you say that because my grandpa is from Blythe, California, which is Southern California. It's actually in the desert, like in no man's land. He is a big time Dodgers fan. We make sure that he's able to watch all the Dodgers games and everything. And every time I ever go over there, he's like, "Man, these Dodgers suck." And I'm like, "Grandpa, they're literally like the best team in baseball right now." And he's like, "But their bullpen."
Ain't no Sandy Koufax.
For real though, he hates the bullpen though, and he's like, I call him the Batman, Kimbrel, because he does the little like scapular pinch.
Yeah,
he calls him the Batman, and
he's not been very good.
He has not been very good. He's been talking so much shit about him, and so that's where I get most of my Dodgers insight is actually my grandpa, because he watches every game. That's all he's got. So, but it's hard for me to bet against my grandpa's Dodgers sometimes, but I had to last year and it worked out. And so, and he was happy either way, because he actually lived in Atlanta for a long time too. And I grew up with him in Atlanta, and they actually used to get tickets all the time to Braves games at Turner Field and the one before Turner Field, which I didn't even know. I can't even remember the name of it now, but
yeah.
So yeah, they also were around the Braves a ton too. So he's not upset if either one of those make it.
So I've kind of we both well no you had the Yankees. So do Yankees and Braves. I've got a rematch from last year's World Series is what
And I've got a
picking.
rematch from '99. And the Braves are gonna go back to back.
It'd be the first time somebody's gone back to back since the Yankees
in
their
99, right? No,
2000.
2000. That's right.
They won
99 was their first win.
Yeah, they won 98, 99, and 2000.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I've
shit.
I've got the rematch, and I've got the Astros winning the rematch, which means we'll have to get a part 3 in 2023.
I mean, I definitely could see that happening. I honestly, like, if I was picking with my mind, I would say it's Astros Braves. Like I said, I just for some reason feel like with the way Judge is playing and doing what he's doing this year, and the fact that it's been so long for the Yankees, I just feel like it's their year.
We'll see.
Next year's the Rangers' year.
Next year's the Rangers' year. Okay. All right. What did you do on break? Is it just now kicking in?
Well, of course I did that, but no, I mean,
a little too much. All right,
2 more years. 2 years.
Well, I guess we are about an hour and 25 minutes into this thing. So,
all right, so let's get into rugby. So, I'm just kidding.
The Chippewa Red Hams beat the. I don't fucking know.
I didn't even think about any beard of the weeks. Do you have any?
Oh man, no, I don't.
I didn't really think about it myself. So yesterday when I was watching all the football games, I actually went to Oz's for the Cowboys game after our baseball game, and we were just watching the Cowboys game. So normally I'm watching like a whole bunch of different games at the same time during the first hour, but we were just sticking to the Cowboys, so I had to catch up with everything else later on. So, but
yeah, we didn't do beard of the week on Saturday either. Now that I think about it, so
no, we did not.
Just not have a beard of the week vacant title, and
yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes out. It's a little bit more difficult to find them in football. We just have to find when they take their helmets off.
Right. Or like look them up after they do something, after somebody does something incredible, like look them up, like, oh, does he have a beard? No, he doesn't have a beard.
Okay. That's typically what happens.
Right.
Man. Good stuff though.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna shout one out.
Okay.
My beard of the week candidate. Just because, man, that beard though. Ryan Fitzpatrick up there on the Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football cast, doing his thing, dude. I'm digging him up there so far. I like his takes, and dude, his beard is just it's like perfect. Like if you could have a more perfect,
I haven't seen
like
it
long
recently.
Dude, it's just perfect. So check him out on the Thursday night broadcast. But yeah, so we'll shout him out.
All right.
You done with that? Ryan Fitzpatrick?
I mean, we don't have anybody else.
All right. There he is. Check him out on the Amazon Prime broadcast. He's good. I like him so far.
All right. Well, everybody enjoy your week. Let's look forward to some playoff baseball. And we've got some good football next weekend too.
Oh yeah. Dude, game day is actually, they announced they're going to Kansas.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm excited for that.
Me too, because
I'm legit.
You and me said, we thought, nah, they're still gonna go to Red River.
Or A&M Alabama or something like that. But no, they actually did it. They're going to Lawrence.
Dude, the battle of the unbeaten unexpecteds.
Yep.
I guess it sounds, but the unexpected unbeatens.
There you go.
There we go. Well, thanks for listening or watching.
Yeah, if you've made it this far.
Right. We ramble on a little bit. It's all right.
It's not too much longer than normal.
Right.
That's
what she said.
Cheers out.
Cheers out.